ZMAX Dragway in the shadows of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. A lightning truncated first SMX round. Only the first race was run, but the results only served to cement pre-playoff prognostications. The racing was processional, with each rider sliding in just about where one might have expected. But it was also a clinic, and hardly a bore. You can say or think anything you like, but if you can't find something to like about Jett and Hunter Lawrence, Eli Tomac, Kenny Roczen, and Chase Sexton dissecting a difficult racetrack on many levels, you don't like or know anything about motorcycle racing or racers. 5 of the best I've ever seen, and I've been around, and I know a lot of people. These are the best of the best, and any of us has ever strived to be the best he can in the arena of competition at whatever level should easily appreciate that. On a track sketchier than kindergarten art taped to a refrigerator door, Jett did Jett things, steadily pulling away from the pack, yet settling into a lead hovering between 2 and 3 seconds. Eli gave chase to Lawrence, but it was Sexton who was gifted second when Tomac spun down midway through. Behind and fourth was big brother Hunter, who didn't post his usual start, but who did set the fastest lap of the race. And then the wind blew, the skies opened up, and multiple lightning strikes ended the day. The first Supercross race ever held in St. Louis is perhaps the most infamous for being the night that saw Jeremy McGrath's bid for a perfect season go awry. On April 27, 1996, Kawasaki's Jeff Emig spoiled McGrath's win streak in the then-new Trans World Dome. McGrath had won all 13 races, coming into the inaugural St. Louis race. Both McGrath and his mechanic of the day, Skip Norfolk, point to various distractions throughout the day, as the promoters demanded much of Jeremy's time for local sponsors and media.
Now, you know who's sitting on the right. Okay, you know where you got to be when the gate drops. Forget about the heat race. You need a whole shot, 4 laps of your race, and then you'll be out front. You can do whatever you want then. All right? Hammer on these guys. 20 laps this time.
For those of us that were actually there that night, the outcome seemed inexplicable.
Getting set for the second to the last Supercross of the year. Can Jeremy McGrath win them all? So we're set, they're revving up. The gate will drop any second, now it's gone.
Jeremy gets a terrible jump out of the gate.
Emig, good jump. Lusk, a good jump. McGrath is about in 10th position. Then Jeremy McGrath is already in 5th position.
And look how smart Jeremy is. Up the inside to the whoops, already around LaRocco. He's in what, 4th maybe, 5th? I can't believe what this guy can do amongst so much traffic.
Emig, Lawrence, LaRocco, and then Jeremy McGrath, Ezra Lusk, Michael Craig, and Jimmy Button.
And meanwhile, Emig still out front.
Jeremy McGrath has been in this position before at different tracks with 3 riders in front of him. But he's always been able to get the break, the right move at the right time. LaRocco just won't let him take it. Oh, we've got a great one on our hands. Could this be the moment that Jeremy McGrath's tremendous win string of 13 in a row is broken? A 1-2-3 battle in our 250 main. with a streak, one of the greatest in sports history, on the line.
Watch Jeremy. He'll go to the outside and get a burst of speed coming off the corner.
And he cuts in front of Luraco. Jeremy McGrath brings the crowd to their feet. Holy mackerel. We're in St. Louis, aren't we? I can say that. Harry Carey.
Look at Luraco. He's got an excellent line coming off of that section. He gets Jeremy back briefly.
Bar to bar. McGrath takes the advantage in the triple. Luraco. He gets the block pass. Oh, what great infighting.
That's what it's going to take. The guy that wants it the most right now is the guy that's going to win this race.
McGrath is pulling up close once again.
Right. Well, Emig is making it difficult for Luraco to get around. Luraco, though, up the inside again.
Now Emig, Luraco bumps and comes off the bike. Jeremy McGrath leaps by him.
What a save by Luraco, but now Jeremy's around him.
This late in the race, he's never been out of the lead.
Well, this is history right here.
Could this be the evening that Emig holds on to it all? White flag lap. One left to go. Can Emig do it?
He's got a good, comfortable lead right now. Unless Jeremy can stay closer than this, Emig's got the composure to hold on to it.
Emig is one win in Supercross history. Was Las Vegas. McGrath was not in the field.
Jeremy just had lost a little bit of time, but he jumped that section that Luraco was doing, made it back up. Watch him through the whoops up the inside.
Emig doing a good job. Through the whoops.
I think the key might be that final corner where Jeremy got around Lawrence for the heat race.
I'll tell you, the fans are all out of their seats with good reason. Emig leading Jeremy McGrath in the final lap. Here's the second to the last turn. Emig, flawless. McGrath is not close enough to make a move on the final turn. It is Jeff Emig.
I don't believe it, Art. I don't think Emig does either. He jumped about 10 feet past the landing of that finish line jump, hands in the air.
Those 13 wins in a row for McGrath remain the record for Supercross Street to this day, though Ricky Carmichael now shares the distinction, having accomplished the same feat in 2001. Jeremy would return the favor to Emig the following season, taking one of only two of his wins on an infamously ill-prepared Suzuki and besting Emig in front of the Missouri riders' home crowd in Emig's own sole championship campaign.
Jeremy McGrath with the block pass. What a great battle. Here comes Larry Ward in third. Jeremy to the inside. Shuts the door on Emig. Jeremy McGrath, his second win of the year.
Supercross races were held in the Dome for 23 consecutive seasons from 1996 through 2018. No race was scheduled for St. Louis for 2019, and the COVID-affected schedules of 2020 and 2021 also skipped a St. Louis stop. The series returned in 2022, then skipped 23 again. St. Louis is the 10th most visited city in Supercross history. The Dome is one of just 3 stadiums on the Monster Energy Supercross schedule to host every race in a host city that has 2 decades or more of history. The winningest racers in St. Louis are Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed, who combined to win every St. Louis main event save one from 2001 through 2009. Ricky won 2 in a row in 2001 and 2002. And Reed would also win 2 in a row, 2003 and 4. The 2 seesawed after that. RC won in 05, Reed in 06, Carmichael in 07, and Reed in 09. After Ricky had retired, he shifted his aspirations to driving pickup trucks in the circle. The 2006 race was pivotal in Reed's second championship season. Carmichael and James Stewart battled throughout that year's campaign, pulled a gap on Reed in the races and the points. That night in St. Louis, however, would be one of the worst of Ricky's career. First, he had a huge crash in the whoops during his heat race. Adding insult to injury, Carmichael then crashed in the first turn of the main, and when he got up, his shock spring was broken, and he had no choice but to roll back to the pits. Stu led early, then clipped a tough block and crashed. He kicked and kicked, but would not get his Kawasaki refired. Both Ricky and James, hosting a DNF, Reed would take over the race and the points lead, vaulting from a distant third to first in Supercross standings in one night. He would go on to take his second title later that year. Carmichael returned to win the 2007 race, the 48th and final Supercross victory of his career.
In a similar scenario to the previous year, this time it was RC taking advantage of the misfortune of Reed and Stewart.
Gosler making the final adjustments to the Suzuki number 4, rookie's final appearance here in St. Louis, and he loves this dirt here, Aaron. It looks like Chad Reed gets the whole shot.
Carmichael buried back in the back.
Oh! Chad Reed and James Stewart battling hard for the lead.
Here's a charge.
Stewart inside. And Reed comes back, and down goes Stewart, and down goes Reed. And through goes the 917 of Eric Sorby. And there goes Carmichael.
And Reed's got his bike going. Stewart still has not started his bike.
Jeff, we know how hard it is to start these 450s. Now he's away. Here's Carmichael. Carmichael is 4 riders behind Sorby. Carmichael gets around Ramsey. So the Makita Suzuki rider with that red number plate, because he's a reigning AMA Supercross champion, looking to catch Sorby. Oh, Sorby goes inside. It's a slower line, but a good line, and Carmichael takes the lead. The crowd cheering wildly because this is Carmichael's last visit to St. Louis, and he's looking to make another memorable moment here in the Edward Jones Dome. Ricky Carmichael putting together exactly what he had to do, taking advantage of the opportunity when it opened, and then disappearing into the sky here tonight. Ricky Carmichael wins in his final trip to St. Louis, taking the victory in the Edward Jones Dome for the final time. James Stewart takes second, Chad Reed third. Another memorable moment for the one they call the GOATs.
As pivotal as that race in St. Louis was for Reed's second championship, the series stop in 2010 changed the trajectory of another rookie season. Dungey's first St. Louis win was a night nearly as infamous as Emig besting McGrath, as that was the race that ended then series leader Ryan Villopoto's season. Villopoto made a risky inside pass attempt on Dungey, and the end result was that both Ryans went down. Andrew Short shot into the lead right as Villo and Dunge got going again. Both went by Short, and then the battle at the front resumed in earnest. But the track had begun to break down badly, with ruts reaching through the dirt and onto the plywood beneath. That turned out to be Villopoto's undoing, both for the night and the remainder of 2010. RV hit a plywood patch, spun, lost momentum, and came up short on a huge combination. His tib-fib was badly broken, basically handing the title to the rookie 450 rider on the Suzuki, and also clearing the way for Dungey's subsequent championship outdoor season. MC didn't need anyone to crash out to win his title in 1993. Which is not to say that Dungey did, but that's what happened. One Ryan profited from the other's misfortune in 2010. 66 days out of thumb surgery, Jett Lawrence entered in the first round of SMX 24 and won. Just 194 days removed from knee reconstruction surgery, Jett won again in SMX's first and only race this year. Already with 4 traditional national titles, Jett Lawrence has the fledgling SMX Championship Series on lockdown. Sand Supercross points, he entered the 2023 playoffs as the 3rd seed in the heels of his perfect rookie outdoor season. And of course, won. 24, after missing the last half of the outdoor season, he entered the playoffs as the 6th seed and won again. Outside Chicago, in the first ever second round of SMX, Lawrence went 1-2 for first overall, with Ken Roczen going 3-1 for second, and Chase Sexton taking third with a 2-3 for the weekend. A year later, at round 2 in Dallas, Jett went 3-2 for third. Hunter went 1-3 for first, and was first overall in the 450 class. To remember, Lawrence only overtook Sexton for his first SMX crown at the final round in 23, and tied with his brother at the culminating round the following year. And now, in 2025, Jett already has the red plate, which is one plate he hasn't been able to run in SMX. Winning from behind in the count the last 2 years hence. If Jett wins the upcoming round in St. Louis, who could bet against him? He'll already have the one hand on the trophy. Not to rain on anyone else's